Just going to provide updates to the Unity project. There's been quite a few since the previous videos, but for those who haven't seen the others, I'll just do a very quick recap. Basically, this system will have a very large amount of console systems, original hardware, and they're all running off one audio-visual output, which is a SCART socket, as this can do composite and RGB and everything in one plug. It's using one master controller, so unlike a conventional method where each individual console would have its own controllers, this only uses one for all, with modified Nintendo cartridges that contain the original controller, and as such, when this is inserted into the system, it will then make, in this case, the master controller act as a Super Nintendo, or for that matter any other system that is implemented. The other aspect is that it's using one power supply. That's the connector for the 12-volt transformer at 6 amps. That in turn connects to the system on the regulator boards here, which output between -5 and +15 volts in order to run all the various different console systems. The various boards, again, some of these have been covered previously, but there's been quite a lot of changes. The PlayStation 2 is down at the bottom, with the drive of course at the end. We've then got the Neo Geo on the second layer, Sega Saturn, that incidentally is an extended memory card, and then here we've got the Nintendo, the NES, N64 and the SNES. I've put a integrated box unit, for want of a better expression, just to try and make it easier so there isn't any more stress on the boards. As you imagine, with the weight of several boards on top of something else, it would cause problems. So this has been designed so that there's plenty of gaps between the system, not only for airflow but also to prevent shorts. On this side of the system we've got the Dreamcast and the GameCube. It's not been easy, but I've done what I can to try and make it so that each of these systems can be unscrewed or removed as needed. It might of course need various boards to be taken out, of course, to get to the ones at the bottom, but it is achievable. So that's been one of the main considerations with the project. The system is organised so that over on this side are the various drive units, as mentioned, for the GameCube, the Dreamcast, the Sega Saturn and of course the PlayStation 2. Cartridge systems are over on the opposite side to try and keep it all nice and neat. And again, consideration has been made down here for the various ribbons and connectors to have enough space to move about when the drive unit is moved in and out, in order to change the various discs in the system. So that's how things are going at the moment. I'm going to put in another shelf across here again to add some more support, and the other console boards will go on the top. This is just to make things a little bit more convenient. Those are just extensions for some of the voltages needed in some of the cartridge-based systems on the top, and those just connect into the parts down here, the metal strips as we had previously, which of course are connected to the regulators for the power. Originally designed this particular section for the Jaguar system, but the controller doesn't work by a common ground, albeit 2 or 3 connections, and therefore it's not possible to integrate it. The space therefore will be either used for a generic plug and play, which I was trying to avoid because everything else in the system is completely original boards, and of course the plug and play isn't, but I've now got a spare set of slots which I wasn't envisaging having to have a spare. The other option is I might use that as an Xbox, but it all depends on whether it will fit. This is the only space that's available. I may not be able to get the drive unit in place down here, and also it might not work off the regulators, but if it can, I'll give it a go. Moving around to the front part, again please bear in mind, I know it looks very tatty. This is only a skeleton. it won't be visible by the system at the end, but this is just the internal structure for strength and for everything to attach. Over here there's the PlayStation drive, which of course pops out automatically. These are manual, which I'll attach some form of handle to individually, and of course the various cartridge systems. In here at the moment we just got loaded Neo Geo, NES, Game Boy Advance, N64 and of course SNES. There will be others on top of here, another 6 systems in effect. So at the moment I've got 10 systems working. There will be a total of 18, possibly 19, depending on what happens with the connector at the end. Talking of the connector, it's been made so that it's very easy to move backwards and forwards. In fact, you can do it with just a couple of fingers at complete ease. Obviously move it backwards and forwards as you need to in order to select the system. This again will be, when the case is made, I'll put positions on here so we know exactly where to move to make it connect properly. The cartridges are made deliberately to stack out to slightly different effects. For example, if this Neo Geo cartridge is pushed too far inside, it would make it very difficult in order to release it. So with that in mind, I've got the other cartridges at angles that you can quite easily remove and reinsert as required. There's gaps between them and they're at slightly different levels. And again, the ones above here will do the same type of staggering. So that's the system as it's going at the moment. Now I'll do a quick video to show some of the systems working. The controller isn't connected at the moment, but that's not required for just doing a quick video. It's more really to show that everything's working, and also with a switch unit too. So as mentioned, we're now going to show a few different systems. The controller of course is not connected, and also one other thing that I've had to do is to turn the brightness level of the screen down quite a lot, because otherwise it was just causing a lot of white image on the screen. So we start off with the GameCube, which is the Game Boy Advance player built in. As in effect, there's 2 systems in one, because of course it's working with the GameCube and then booting up the Game Boy Advance. And then of course it will go into the game selected. Right, so turn that system off. Move the slider across to the next system, which is the N64. This is working in composite mode. The GameCube was in RGB, the SNES is in RGB, and the NES is in composite. It's selected automatically, which is quite handy. So just change the cartridge. You can see how easy it is to change in the system. Put in Yoshi Game. And there you go. Next system, move the slider across for the SNES. This is a PAL game working. Good old Bomberman. That also, as mentioned, in RGB mode. I've got the SNES working in not only PAL but also NTS games. Apart from the Super Mario RPG, that's not very happy, but it was always a problem game anyway. And as you see, that works great. Then we move the slider across for the last in this particular demonstration for the NES. As you see, it all works very easily. The slide moves across nice and smoothly, and all although I still have had to adjust the brightness down quite considerably in order to show the image on this video, I can assure you that the picture does look very, very nice indeed when of course the brightness is up to the level that it should be. Thank you for watching.